Hey everyone, it's Simon Spiraled. Welcome to something completely new. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series, or should I say, the New-Gi-Oh! Progression series. Myself, Zphil, and Crimpy, two of my best friends, have decided to learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And what better way than the Progression series? Popularized by Simo and Gage, this is one of the, if not the best way to experience a trading card game in my opinion, by playing through a card game's history, starting with the very beginning and moving on through. Of course, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a very long game, there's a lot of sets, so will we ever reach the end? I don't know. We're going to keep doing this as long as it's fun. I'm enjoying myself. So, to make things quick, I'm going to run you, which us, all of us together, but mostly you because I know the rules, through the rules of our thing. We wanted to keep it simple. We didn't want to have complicated stuff. You won't see a winner's wheel. And there'll be a few growing pains as we get used to some of the tech and the streaming side of things, but it's pretty simple. Every week, we each play ourselves once. After that, depending on our score, we earn prizes. If you went 2-0, you get bragging rights. That's it. Nothing else. You get a little Discord roll icon on our private Discord, but you just get the pat on the back knowing that you took down your opponents. If you go 1-1, you get 3 additional packs of the next set. So rather than opening, let's say 24, you would open 27. And then if you got 0-2, you get to do that, the 3 extra packs, and you also get to ban a card from the pool. We may eventually add the option to limit instead of ban, in the case that you have a card, they have 3, and you want to just reduce it 1 and 1. But for now, it's just banning a card. We started with Legend of Blue Eyes. We also started with 3 polymerizations. That way we could access the fusion mechanic if we really wanted to. So that's pretty much what we did. I'm going to give you a quick look at our pools from the first set, Legend of Blue Eyes. I'm actually going to, tab back over here to mine real quick, because we're always going to do it in the same order. There's really not much to say. It's Legend of Blue Eyes. You know the cards. Equip spells, field spells. I've got the 3 and 3. I hope that would be enough, but my opponents pulled some crazy stuff. I've got a lot of 2K defenders, hoping that was going to carry me. Curse of Dragon. I've got, it's what you expect. There's just really not that much here. On Crimpy's side of the field, pretty similar stuff, but a pile of armed ninjas to go with it, a Dark Magician, a Monster Reborn, a Fisher, and you can see why I was starting to sweat a little bit about the matches this week. My friend Zphil also has something a little different, a 4, but obviously only 3, Hanes, a Trap Hole, a Fisher, a Man-Eater Bug, the stop defenses. Their removal pools were just so much better than mine. So I know normally, traditionally, we would be opening packs and you would be able to follow that. We're recording from 3 very different places, and it was just the quality on the pack openings wasn't great, and it was a little slow. So we're just going to go with the collection snapshots, and we're going to hopefully do it a little differently the next time, but I'm hoping that this will give you a good look at kind of like the cards that we pulled, and we're going to put our links to our collections in the video descriptions so you can check those out, and you're always welcome to give advice, especially to the underdogs, which isn't, which isn't me necessarily this week, but it could be next week, for any advice or card combos or things that maybe we've missed. I mean, learning a new card game on top of having to learn like each individual card just means that there's a lot to do. So we're going to switch back over to the decks here. I'm going to give you a quick look at what we each built. It shouldn't be really a surprise. I put the only good 5 and 6s that I have. I mean, it's so sad that I have to run Spike Seedra, but 16 goes over these ones. I'm running some Fiends, I'm running some Dinos, and I'm running some Winged Beasts. So there's the equips. I've got some burn, some stop defense. 2-pronged attack is my only removal. I've got 2, but that's it. So I really did my best here. There's not much. Crimpy, on the other hand, the deck looks just like mine, but better. Really thought about the math and stuff. So, running cards like Wasteland gets up to 1400 with like dinosaurs and stuff. There's, the giant soldiers, Yami for all the fiends. So there's a lot of math that went in here. But of course, Monster Reborn, Dark Magician, Fisher just does so much by itself. And then Zphil, so again, first little magic lesson, because the 3 of us, as I said, are magic veterans. So we're very magic minded. So we had to realize that no, here, Winged Beast does not mean beast, it's just one thing. So Forest does not help your Skull Redbirds. So that was a lesson that we learned. Neither does Beast Fangs. So the cards are in the deck for this week, but now that we've learned that lesson, I'm pretty sure we're not going to see them back. We've got things like Machine Conversion for the Steel Ogres, The rest is pretty much self-explanatory, right? You've got the good flip monsters, you've got the removal, and that's pretty much it. So what's really cool is we got our replays. So the reason we're doing replays is because it lets me do God View and talk a little bit about the cards and the plays. And we're the kind of friends that don't see each other very much. We live kind of apart, but we've been like really close friends for like pretty much a decade at this point. So we just like talking about in real life stuff, and we didn't think that would make for very good content. And also some of it's just private. We didn't want to have to like censor or like think about it. Can I talk about this? So we made the decision that I would just do the God View replays and talk about how things went. So we're going to go in order that they're played. It'll always be Crimpy against Zphil, and then after that it will be me against Zphil and then me against Crimpy. So that's usually how we're going to do the replays. So yeah, without further ado, we've got our first match. You can ignore the warnings that just pop up. It's just because of how it works. This is going to be a really quick match. Our opponent, or I always say our opponent just because I'm at the bottom. Anyway, Zphil runs out an early defense. Crimpy follows it up by playing out, I believe it's a defensive Green Phantom as well. Over on Zphil's side, we've got Gravedigger Ghoul, we've got Yami, so just plays out the Green Phantom as well. Could have immediately gone into Dark Magician, but instead runs it a little slower, plays out the Wasteland, and then follows it up with a Urabi, so it's a 1700, and manages to pick the correct one of the two, so goes after the Green Phantom rather than the Giant Soldier here. Zphil picks up a Machine Conversion Factory, but isn't able to do anything with it, and plays out a Yami. Again, little thing to think about is, you know, Yami doesn't really help you unless you've already got your Fiends and Spellcasters out, so you got to be careful that it doesn't replace the Wasteland. They're just additive, right? And if you don't have the Fiend or Spellcaster yet, probably don't want to play it right away. So the trap hole here is pretty big. I think this is the turn where we see Terror the Terrible come out. Yep, Hain flips up, bounces Giant Soldier of Stone. By the way, I never knew if it was Hain or Hane, so you just obviously can correct me. A ton of damage gets thrown Zphil's way. We're going to run out Giant Soldier of Stone again, and I think we just passed the turn here. And yeah, Crimpy's going to go for the big play here, going to tribute, I believe, the Hain after playing Rami and the Urabi. Brings out Dark Magician, which gets Trap Hold, but was holding up the Monster Reborn. So the first big card here manages to bring back the Magician, which definitely has enough power to get through Giant Soldier. Terra clocks in for another 1600, and Zphil just doesn't manage to draw another monster card, and therefore I think decides to just cycle the Yami for the fun of it. And yeah, lowers the opponent's attack, shows off that there's Gravedigger Ghoul that could have hit the Dark Magician if the opponent didn't draw a Monster Reborn, but yeah, that's enough. The damage is there on the field, brings out a Skull Redbird to add insult to injury, and clocks in for lethal without even having to use Dark Magician on that one. A pretty clean win here for Crimpy here in week 1. Over on the second match, I played against Zphil. It was longer, and you'll see I had to play around some things, so you might find this interesting. So I know that Zphil has cards like Hain and Trap Hole, so I know that any strategy that involves me sticking a bunch of equips really needs to be careful. I knew that there was Hains, I knew I was going to have to deal with it, but I didn't really see a better way of, you know, breaking through the opponent's decks. So I'm going to slow roll quite a few cards for now, and then what I'm going to do is start leading in with these my little swords here, my Trial of Nightmares, and I'm going to use them to kind of like test the water. So I get the wrong 50 here, I just kind of bump into the Green Phantom King, but it's not a huge problem here. What else do I got? Maneater Bug comes out, so I think I run out the Witty Phantom here, looking to reveal or clean up the small stuff before I go with my Urabi plan. And I drew my second Raised Body Heat, so now I know that I actually have something that can get over 2k defenders, which is really big. I lose my attack. I lose one of my attackers, one goes back to hand. My Aquamador survives, which is nice, because losing that could have been problematic. So my opponent here tributes for a Reaper, and I believe what ended up happening was forgot that there was an option to set in defense, so again, little learning pains here, but obviously would have set it face down in a regular match. I run out another 2k defender. I know I'm pretty safe from the Reaper. So when Zphil sets it to defense, you know, we're all in Discord, we're saying, all right, you might want to just turn that sideways here. I think I fire off Hinotama here, doing a little bit of chip damage as I go, bringing out another Trial of Nightmare. I'm really hoping to bait out a trap hole. I don't know for sure if my opponent has one, but I really need it to be gone if I'm going to play Yuri, because otherwise I'm not winning this match. More defense, more stuff kind of like jamming up the boards here. I'm going to run out a Final Flame, just do a few more points of damage, and my other Aquamedora is coming out. None of us have Raigekis or Dark Holes, so I know that going wide isn't going to get blown out. We really didn't pull much in the way of like the big haymakers. Like the big one we have is the Monster Reborn, right? Final Flame again, another 600 points, and I'm really just looking for a second Urabi or a Skull Redbird, something scary that I can tell I can have my opponent, you know, use the Trap Hole, because I'm pretty sure at this point there is one sitting in the back row. I draw Skull Redbird and I decide to go for it. I play it out, I'm really happy, Trap Hole takes it out. I mean, Skull Redbird wasn't going to get through anything on the opponent's side of the field, so I was just hoping that the fact that it was one of our bigger normal monsters was going to be enough to threaten the Trap Hole. Gravedigger's Ghouls gets my stuff out, but like I've got no way of bringing them back, so I'm okay with that. The 1400 takes out the Trial of Nightmare, and I'm now ready to flop my play. So I even draw a little tiger that I'm not going to cast, but you know, little tiger is there. Urabi comes out. I boost it with double raised body heat to get it to 2100, and that's enough to take out the giant soldier, which is really big here. Now we have a little mistake that comes in again. This is just kind of like a learning thing. In Magic, the two numbers mean attack, well, power and toughness, right? Which is normally the damage you deal and how much damage you can take. In Yu-Gi-Oh, that's not the case. It's just your stats based on your position, right? So attack monsters, defense position. I know you all know this, but I just want to show why the next play happened. So the 1400 attacker went into my 2100, not my 14 on the defense. So little thing that happened here. I stop defense the opponent's Reaper of the cards, I summon a monster, and I flip everything to face-up attack. And I just throw all the damage in, and it's just enough to take the match. So it was very, very, very close. I could have lost to like a Hain or anything, but by having everything cleared and visible, I was able to know what my opponent was running, and I knew there was only one trap hole to worry. So managed to pick up one win, but you're going to see that's pretty much just going to be my only one. So, oh, looks like we did get a crash. Give me 1 second. We'll bring it right back up. I knew it was going to happen eventually. It's really not too much of a big problem. It's just kind of the way it works. All right, replays, C versus C. There we go. Everything should be good. Okay, this time around, I was in for a little bit of a tighter game, and as you're going to see, I got absolutely steamrolled. So, early Urabi with a removed trap. I did have two-pronged attacks, so I mean, there's still things that it could do against me. I fire off a Final Flames, and I run out my own Urabi, because I know if I leave that one alive too long, I will be in trouble, so I trade them off. Not sure if I should have held it back. I mean, I didn't think so. Opponent's just drawing all the good ones, so Urabi, Skull Redbirds, just plenty of good stuff here. I take a 1500 because I had to do the trade on the previous turn. I'm going to play out my Armed Ninja and hope to fake a 2k Defender. That way my Spike Sidra can get Tribute summoned, and I was like, okay, 1600 gets over Skull Redbird and it gets over Urabi. I should be okay, depending on what my opponent draws, of course. So I'm going to flip that up, and I'm going to take out the removed trap. So, you know, pretty happy about that. Tribute it off for my Spike Sidra. Fire off a few more points, 500 here. I stop defense my opponent because I know if it's the 1600 Defender, this is my only chance of getting over it with Spike Sidra, and I do. Just feeling pretty good about myself before my opponent draws into Yami. So Yami is played, Witty Phantom is no longer 1400, it's 16, and can just immediately trade. So now I'm very sad. I'm down a lot of cards. I'm down to just having a Trial of Nightmare, which I'm like, that's fine, because of Yami and it's a fiend, it'll go up to 1500, which is enough to take out the Yuri. But like, I'm down to nothing. We're both having, we both have one card in hand. My set mountain, which by the way was a mistake. I clicked the set and then I realized I didn't want to do it. It was too late. So I get clocked in by a Celtic Guardian, and I'm like, all I need is a single monster, and instead my deck gives me my Dark Energy here, which is definitely not what I wanted. So my opponent's just drawing gas here. Skull Redbird comes out. Between Skull Redbird and Celtic Guardian, I just take a whopping amount of damage, and I'm like, all right, 2k Defender. Just give me a 2k Defender and I'm still in it, and instead it gives me Remove Trap. So I flip the mountain to buff up my opponent's Skull Redbird, and I hand them the win, saying, alright, you did it. You got me dead. And instead my opponent decides to, put salt in the wound and fires off a Hinatama, and just kills me with it. So that kind of brought an end to our week 1 of our games. So the way that it works is, as soon as that's done, as I said, we kind of do our prizing and stuff, and with no surprise, the card that we decided to ban, and speaking of, I should just create that right now for all of you. So Banlist. I don't think I have to, point it out. The card that was banned was Monster Reborn. So that's welcome, Monster Reborn. You are now officially banned. I wonder if there's a deck box that looks like something's banned. I like this one. Cool. So we're just going to save that here, so from now on we'll be able to show you the ban list. It's just Monster Reborn. Won't have to deal with it ever again, except that you'll see there's some really gross stuff that came out. So let's take another look at our collections. We're going to go back up to the internet tab here, and yeah, cards got pulled. We're going to close our Legend of Blue Eyes, and let's go into Metal Raiders. Right off the bat, things are going to change a lot on my end, because I actually drew stuff that's interesting, like 5 Thunder Dragons. Anyway, I've got the 3 Thunder Dragons, which was nice. I've got some Jiraigumos. I've got Butcher for damage. The 3 Paralyzing Potions is actually going to be relevant. Swords, stim packs. There's going to be options now as of next game. Going down into the regular normal monsters, I've only got 2 of the fish, but I believe I pulled a bunch of the crowns, so I've got my 3 here. So my monster suite is already going to change dramatically. What else did I remember I have? Down in the rares is where things get okay, no, I've got the Ryukishin. Did we skip over the clowns? Where's my clown? I thought I had clowns. Yes, I've got 2 dream clowns. I don't have the other one, but I've got 2 dream clowns. So, they're there. Hopefully they can help me out a little bit. 2 stop attacks. I got 1 Robin Goblin. Would have liked some more, but what I'm really happy about is 1 Sangan, 1 Witch, 2 Magician of Faiths. I've got the Mask. I've got a bunch of the Shield and Sword. I've got 2 Karibos. And a Change of Heart. So my deck looks very different. The problem is yeah, Change of Heart is great. I just don't have as great ways of putting it to use as my opponents. And as you're going to see, they pulled some good cards too, but that double Karibo is going to be huge. I'm pretty sure that Change of Heart will be the next card to be banned just because of, how powerful it is. But if I can keep these Karibos long enough, they might be able to do a lot for me. I know it's not like amazing, like it's not the best hand attack, but it is 1, and I guess 1 is better than none. This was Crimpy, I believe. So Crimpy this time around pulled 1 Dream Clown, 2 Thunder Dragons, so at least doesn't have the playset of those. So that's a little, it's thankfully, because they were already super juiced up. Paralyzing Potions only got 2 copies. Bunch of stim packs, but 2 fish. Where's the crowns? I know there's a bunch of crowns. Yeah, 3 crowns. I got my cat that's saying hello. He's being they're being silly. Hopefully you guys can see them one day. We don't have the camera set up, but my cats are big goobers. Down here, as we get to the rares, there's a few more interesting things. Only 1 block attack, but as you can probably already spot, there's 2 Share the Pains, 2 Robin Goblins, oh, actually, whoops, did I forget to point out the fact that I have Cannon soldiers? I thought, yeah, okay. I've got 2 cannon soldiers. I knew I forgot something. And white magical hats. Anyway, I've got 2 cannon soldiers. There might be something there in the future. I don't know if the answer is right away, but cannon soldier, dark elf, 4 moths. I told them they should definitely go play the moth deck. They weren't too interested in playing the moth deck, so I don't think we'll see the moth deck. It would have been, I think it would have been really cute if the opponent was willing to go try it out, you know, but it's an atrocious card. So, Muka Muka, 1 Sangan, 1 Witch, 1 Magician, and 1 Mask. Really great tribute monsters. I don't know how I'm going to get through them. Suijin, and I think that one is Sanga of the Thunder, a Change of Heart of their own. And interestingly enough, not that I think it'll actually ever get played, but 1 Goddess with a 3rd eye from our tournament pack. So if ever fusion happens, I guess fusion happens. But yeah, just another really good suite of cards. And then over on Zphil's, Zphil actually pulled 2 Crass, 1 Dream, pulled 7 Jiraigumos. We were counting them as we were opening the packs. It was really, really funny. The 3 Thunder Dragons, 2 Potions, some Stims packs, some the Sword here, a bunch of fusion monsters. Now that I think they're actually going to come out. 5 7-colored fish, so we're going to have to deal with that. Only 2 crowns, but obviously who cares when you have all the fish in the world. Just kind of going down here, not really much else. But then we get to the spells. This guy just pulls super well. 3 block attacks, 4 Share the Pains, 4 Robin Goblins, so there's 3. So between Change of Hearts and Robin Goblins, I guess it'll really just depend on who loses. Cannon Soldier, Dark Elf, for some reason 4 Milas, just pulled a bunch of stuff. No Sangan, but double Witch of the Black Forest, White Magical Hat, Magician, Mask, so we all have access to Magicians. 4 Elegant Egotists and Egotists? I'm actually not trying to pronounce that word. 3 Harpy Sisters, but not like 3 Harpy Lady, not Harpy Sisters. So I told Zphil, hey, you could build the Harpy deck. He wasn't too sure about that either. Pulls the, whoops, obviously we just lose him here. The Kazejin, I didn't get any of these big ones. A Heavy Storm, a Tribute to the Doomed, and we all laughed when this one came up. It's Black Skull Dragon, because there's no way that we were getting Red Eyes Black, and so, like, it just wasn't going to happen. They're all ultra rares and stuff, but that kind of brings us into, you know, the little, what collection, you know, what do we have access to now for the next pools? So, I'm going to have to start thinking really hard. Obviously, most of what I played this week is just going to go out the window. I'm just not sure if what I have is going to be enough. There's going to have to be some thinking, some math plays. I'm really, really excited for next week. I think the plan is still to play in the following week, but sometimes it might take 2 weeks for us to do an episode. But yeah, that's kind of like where we're at. I've got some good stuff finally. I just don't have removal. So yeah, Crimpy's definitely taken the protagonist position, and we'll see if we can dethrone Crimpy at least for the winner of the week. But we'd have to 2-0 to take over the champion spot. So Crimpy's already off to like a really good lead here. So yeah. With that said, if you like what you've seen, you like the idea of us Magic players learning how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And just kind of figuring it out, there'll be misplays, but you know, there'll be big plays too. Follow along. We're happy to have you here on this journey with us. And if you've got comments, feedback, deck building suggestions, we're going to put our collections in the show notes, so you can definitely go and browse through. And yeah, it means a lot to us that you're here watching our content. So with that said, wish me luck. We're going to start next week's episode with the same thing. There'll be the deck techs. We won't do the collection snapshot ahead of time because we don't have to do it because we just showed you Metal Raiders. So it'll be straight into the deck techs. After that, we will show you the matches, and then we'll show you the cards that we have opened. If ever we get a chance to increase the quality of our videos, I would love to film the pack openings, but just the fact that they take really long, and I'm trying to do a lot of these videos without having to do too much editing. But anyway, give us your comments, give us your feedback. We're happy to start this journey with you. So stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more stuff coming in the future. So with that said, have a good one, and take care, everyone.